This is the final unit of the course. We've spent much of this course learning about computers, the internet, networks, and cybersecurity. In this final unit, we're going to bring many of those ideas closer to home and talk about how they affect you as an individual technology user. By the end of this unit, you should understand both how to protect yourself online and how to use technology responsibly. We'll spend the first half of the lesson discussing personal digital security, how attackers target individuals, and what you can do to stay safe. And then we'll shift to ethical computing and discuss how our choices affect others. Every day we use technology to communicate, to shop, to bank, to learn and work. Because so much of our lives happen online, criminals don't have to steal a wallet anymore. They can just steal information digitally. Good security isn't about being paranoid. It's about developing habits that reduces your chances of becoming a victim. There are two main ways that attackers get in. The first is through malicious software. These attacks target computers, and we talked about these last time. The second, and often the easiest, is social engineering. Rather than attacking technology, criminals attack people by convincing them to give away information or to click on dangerous links. We'll spend most of today's lesson on social engineering because it's one of the most common threats individuals face. Social engineering is the practice of manipulating people into giving away information, money, or access. Instead of breaking into computer systems, attackers trick someone into opening the door for them. Common tactics include creating a sense of urgency, pretending to be someone you trust, offering something that seems too good to be true, causing fear or panic, or even appealing to curiosity. There are several common types of social engineering attacks, and I want you to notice they all rely on deception rather than technical hacking. Directed attacks are where the attacker interacts with the victims personally. Physical spaces, happens face to face. An attacker might pretend to be a delivery person, a maintenance worker, or even a new employee to gain access to a building or a restricted area. Phone calls, called phishing, is where attackers may call pretending to be from your bank, from your employer's IT department, or even a government agency. They often ask you to verify personal information or provide login credentials. Indirect attacks are where technology is used to reach many potential victims. Phishing uses fake emails for unexpected requests for personal information or generally urgent or threatening language, sometimes misspelled sender names or suspicious links. And unlike regular phishing, which is sent to thousands of people, spear phishing targets a small, specific individual or a small group. The attacker often researched the victims beforehand, making the message appear more convincing by including names, job titles, or even company information. Now, smishing are fake texts with messages claiming to be from banks or delivery services, with links that asking you to verify information or requests for passwords or payments. We also see fake websites. You can see misspelled web addresses, missing HTTPS or security locks, maybe poor design, grammar, or even unrealistic offers. Business email compromises is one of the costliest forms of social engineering. In these attacks, criminals impersonate a company, an executive, a manager, or a trusted vendor, and they convince the employee to transfer money, to purchase gift cards, or share sensitive business information. Because this request appears to come from someone in authority, employees may comply without even verifying it. And this is a real live business email compromise that was sent out from the dean of our school. And if you look at it closely, you're going to notice that the sending email is at gmail.com. Again, it's asking for gift cards, telling us how much needs to be sent, taking pictures and attaching it to the email. This was an actual email that was sent out. and I'm pretty sure that nobody fell for it. The important thing to remember is that social engineering attacks don't exploit weaknesses in technology. They exploit human behavior. So stop, think, and verify before you click. So let's test this. Imagine these messages appear on your computer or phone. Before clicking anything, I want you to stop and look carefully. Your goal is to decide whether or not you would click the link and then explain why. So here's the first one. This email appears to come from your bank. It uses your name, has professional appearance, and it doesn't pressure you to act immediately. It tells you about recent activity and suggests that you log into your account if you didn't authorize it. Pause the video and ask yourself, would you click and why? So the answer should be no. Even legitimate email should be verified through the bank's official website or app. So even though this looks legitimate, the safest practice is don't click the button, open up the browser, go to your bank yourself, or go to your mobile app and log in and then verify the information. So here's another one. Look at this email. It uses urgent language. Action required, verified now. It threatens that your account is going to be locked if you don't respond. So pause the video and ask yourself, would you click and why? So the answer for this is absolutely not. This is a phishing attempt designed to steal your username or password or other personal information. Cyber criminals often create a sense of urgency, so people react without thinking. Also notice that the sender's address doesn't exactly match the bank's official domain. So here's the third one. This is a delivery text. Many people are getting package delivery notifications, so scammers are now taking advantage of that. This text claims that there's a problem with your package and asks you to click the link and update your information. So pause the video. Would you click? And why? So the answer for this one is no. This is a common smishing attack, which are phishing delivered through text messages. So ask yourself, am I actually expecting a package? Does sender look legitimate? Is the web address official? And even if you are expecting a package, never use the link in the message. Instead, go directly to the shipping company's website or app and enter your tracking number there. Cyber criminals are relying on one thing more than anything else: people acting quickly without thinking. A simple habit can protect you from many scams. Stop, think, and then verify. If something seems unusual, don't click the link. Go directly to the organization's official website or app and verify the information for yourself. So everything that you post online contributes to your digital footprint. Photos, comments, videos, likes, even things you delete may still exist somewhere. Many employers and colleges review applicants' online presence before making decisions. A good question to ask before posting anything is, would I be comfortable if my future employee, professor, or family saw this? So far we've looked at many ways attackers try to trick people into giving away information. Now let's switch perspectives. Instead of asking, how do they get in, we'll ask, how can you protect yourself? The good news is that many cybersecurity threats can be avoided by practicing a few simple habits every day. First, think before you share online, because once information is posted, it can be difficult or impossible to remove. Consider who might see it and how it could be used before you post. The next one is limit your personal information that you post. Avoid sharing details like your address, your phone number, your birthday, your daily routine, or your travel plans. The less personal information available, the harder it is for criminals to misuse it. And you want to be really cautious on public Wi-Fi, because these networks at places like coffee shops and airport are convenient, but they're not secure. So avoid accessing sensitive accounts or making financial transactions unless you are using a trusted account. And you also want to review privacy settings regularly. Social media and online services often update their privacy settings, so you want to just check them out periodically to control who can see your information in your posts. And then keep your devices and apps up to date. Software updates often include security patches that fix known vulnerability. And installing these updates promptly helps protect your devices from new threats. So none of these steps take much time, but together they significantly reduce the risk of becoming a victim of cybercrime. Small habits can make a big difference in protecting your personal information. So let's look at some others. Passwords are often the first line of defense. A strong password should be long. Aim for a minimum of 16 characters long. Longer options exponentially increase the time it takes to for automated tools to crack them. And you also want randomness, because using a mix of uppercase and lowercase, numbers and symbols can also increase the time it takes to crack them. And uniqueness. Never reuse a password across multiple accounts. If one service suffers a data leak, your other logins remain safe. So many organizations, including our university, require passwords that meet certain complexity requirements. So here's a list of the current password requirements at our university. And then I found out that there are some additional ones. Oh, wait a minute, that's not it. These are some additional ones as well. So the goal isn't to simply satisfy the requirements. It's to make your password difficult for attackers to guess or to crack. Random passwords can be very difficult to remember. Passphrases are a highly secure alternative. They're made by joining several random words together to create a long, memorable string. And they offer much better security because their extreme length makes it incredibly difficult for computers to crack. And they're easier for humans to remember. And since none of us can remember dozens of unique passwords, password managers securely store them for us, so we only have to remember one password. Regardless, use unique passwords for each account and never reuse them. Multi-factor authentication adds another layer of protection. Instead of relying only on a password or a passphrase, it requires something else. It could be a code sent to your phone, a fingerprint, facial recognition, a security key. The benefits are an extra layer of security. It protects your account even if your password is stolen. It makes it much harder for attackers to gain access. It helps prevent identity theft and account takeovers, and it just provides greater peace of mind when you're using online services. So another safe online habit is, remember we said be cautious on public Wi-Fi. Safe browsing habits can prevent many attacks. Look for HTTPS when you're entering sensitive information. Keep your software updated, because the updates often include security or fixed security vulnerabilities. You want to avoid downloading files from unknown websites, and public Wi-Fi should be used carefully. Avoid logging into any privacy like banking or shopping sites unless you're using a trusted connection or a VPN. And you can even create your own hotspot with your phone. So many apps collect more information than people realize. So take a few minutes every few months to review who can see your posts, whether apps know your location, which apps have access to your camera or your phone, and which permissions you no longer need, because small adjustments can significantly improve your privacy. So the second part, if security is about protecting ourselves, ethics is about making responsible choices. Just because technology allows us to do something doesn't always mean that we should do it. Ethical computing means considering how our actions affect other people. Digital citizenship is using technology responsibly, safely, ethically, and respectfully. A good digital citizen behaves online much like a good citizen behaves in their own community. They communicate respectfully, They verify information before sharing it. They respect other people's privacy. They just help make the internet a safer place. So let's talk about copyright and intellectual property. Creative work has value. Copyright protects original creative works like books or movies or software from being copied or used without permission. Trademarks protect names and logos and symbols that identify a company or a brand. Patents protect new inventions and give the inventors the exclusive rights to make, use, or sell their inventions. And software licenses define how software can be legally installed, used, copied, or distributed by users. Imagine spending months creating something original only to have somebody else copy it, claim it as their own, and profit from your hard work. That's why intellectual property law exists, to protect the creators who make innovations possible. Plagiarism is presenting someone else's work as your own. Many students think only copying essays count, but plagiarism also includes copying computer code or images or presentation, or even using AI-generated work dishonestly. Always follow your instructor's policies regarding collaboration and AI tools. Weber State has a section of the student code devoted to academic honesty. So in the PPM 6.2, section 6.4, academic misconduct includes, but is not limited to, submitting work that's not your own for academic credit, using someone else's words or ideas without giving them credit, that's plagiarism, working with others when collaboration is not allowed, that's collusion, and using unauthorized resources or tools, including AI, to complete assignments. But not all copyrighted material is off limits. Fair use allows limited use of copyrighted material without permission for purposes like education, criticisms, or news reporting. The public domain are creative works that anyone can use because they're not protected by copyright. Creative Commons are licenses that allow creators to give others permission to use their work under certain conditions. Attribution just means giving credit to the original creator when using their work. Several examples of something that was copyrighted but is now in the public domain. One is Winnie the Pooh. The original 1926 book is in the public domain, but Disney's version of Winnie the Pooh is still protected by copyright and trademark. Another one is Sherlock Holmes. The original stories by Arthur Conan Doyle. It's now in the public domain. And then Romeo and Juliet by William Shakespeare is in the public domain because that copyright, if it ever had one, is long expired. So artificial intelligence is becoming a part of everyday life. AI is a great tool for brainstorming and learning concepts and explaining difficult topics. But AI should support learning and not replace it. Using AI to complete assignments dishonestly prevents you from developing the skills that you are here to learn. If you remember only a few things from today's lesson, remember these. Use strong passwords. Enable multi-factor authentication. Keep all of your software updated. Think before clicking. Protect your privacy and respect other people's work. Technology is safest when combined with good judgment. So I'd like to end with a question. Technology gives us incredible opportunities, but it also gives us responsibilities. Think about your own online behavior. What responsibility do you think every technology user has towards others online? There isn't a single correct answer, but your response should reflect the ideas that we've discussed in this unit.